Hey guys, it's me the Fat Hobbit, and we're looking at now doing the draw for Worcester Warhammer. I have to apologise if I look a little bit tired or a little bit haggard, but hay fever has hit me once again, and it's not the greatest, I have to admit. It's knocks you for 6, but we're going to do the draw for the first round for Worcester Warhammer. So I've tried to split them as much as possible because we had a bit of a split between Cheltenham War Chiefs and the Worcester guys, so I've tried to keep them as separate as I can so that you guys don't end up having to play people that you play on a regular occasion. And we'll get straight into the draw. So first of all, we'll start with the first player, which will be Rob Noyes with his High Elves. We'll be playing against Michael Fox with his Lizard Man. So that should be quite an interesting one. Then we have Carl Smith with his Orcs and Goblins. He's got quite a bit of a painting blog as well, so I've already seen some of the models that he's going to be bringing, and they look pretty cool. And he's going to be playing against Chris Mitchell's Ogres. So that's going to be a bit of an interesting one. Bit of a heavy hitters and low initiative all round, really, and be fun. Right, next one up. We've got James Mapson's Demons. Seems to be a few of these guys as well, and the builds seem pretty similar, but very nasty. And from the Worcester guys, we've got Conrad Cunningham with his Wood Elves. Now I know a lot of the Cheltenham guys know Conrad, but I know that you guys don't play him very often, and he's not down very much. So I've put him in with the Worcester guys so that you guys end up playing him a little bit more. And he's got a fairly brand spanking new army in the form of the Wood Elves. They've had a new army book recently as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. I've not got a vested interest in them at all, honest. I have to have a look at some of my other videos for that. So next up, we've got Kieran Harper's Dark Elves, the only Dark Elf entrant into the tournament, and it's a pretty nasty list, pretty formidable, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that one gets on. And he is up against Matt Patey's Skaven. So he's got a pretty solid list. There's quite a bit in his army list. It should give the Dark Elves a bit of a run for their money. Managed to drop everything. That's always a good start. So next up from the Cheltenham guys, we've got Jamie McIntosh and his Orcs and Goblins. Now, if I recall rightly, this is Jamie's first proper tournament, and he knows the Cheltenham guys, knows them fairly well. But I don't think he actually goes down to the Cheltenham War Chiefs very often. And he's going to be playing against an entrant into the tournament who we don't actually have the name for. When he went into Worcester War Games, he signed up, bought his ticket, but we lost his name. But he should be turning up on the day, so we don't actually know what. I don't actually know what army he's got. He hasn't sent me an email of his army list, so we'll see how that goes when he actually turns up on the day. So the next up, we've got Ian Cutler and his Tomb Kings. So Tomb Kings, I wasn't sure whether I was going to see a Tomb Kings list at this tournament, as no comp and no increase in points sometimes mean people get put off things like doing Tomb King's list, but it's a pretty nasty list and it should do okay. And he will be playing against Laura Willits and her Skaven. So again, her list you've already seen hopefully if you on Facebook or on the Worcester Warhammer page at all, and that's not a very friendly Skaven list either. Right, so we're down to the last few. We've got Brian Hatchett and his Warriors of Chaos up next. I played against this list recently in a test game of his. It wasn't particularly friendly at all. So let's see who's going up against this guy. So we've got George Senior and his High Elves. So George has got, again, a fairly solid list. He's got some things in there that some people say that should never actually turn up in a High Elf list, but he does fairly well with them. And then the last one, from the Cheltenham list anyway, we've got Les Martin and his demons. Once again, the other demon player that's in the list for the roundup for Worcester Warhammer, and he's going to be playing against Andrew Lambert's Bretonians. So this could be quite an interesting one because you've got the demons that just sort of normally sit there and take the hit, and the Bretonians who rely on breaking stuff on the hit. So we'll see here. I think it's all going to be about charges and how many units Andrew gets into the demons, really, I think, on that one. So that's the list, guys. That's the actual rundown of who's playing who. Hopefully I'll look forward to seeing you all on Sunday at 8:30 in the morning, ready for registration, and then 9:30 for starting up the games. Remember, if you want any breakfast stuff, then Rule 32 are going to be on hand with bacon, sausage, teas and coffees, anything you could want to be able to try and keep yourself awake for Sunday morning, as 8:30 isn't exactly a favourable time for a lot of people who have to travel over. But we will try and keep you as entertaining and keep you going as much as we can. So that's the draw, and this is the Fat Hobbit signing out. Thanks, guys.